I am here to introduce two inspirational women, Patti Saylor and Erica Wheeler. I have the honor of serving on the board of directors of the National Down Syndrome Society with Patti, and even more importantly, I have the pleasure of counting her as a friend. We must start with Patti's late son, Ethan. Ethan was like many men his age. He enjoyed going out with friends to a movie. He was a loving big brother to his two siblings. He adored his mother, and he happened to have Down syndrome. The sad thing is that to those who didn't know Ethan personally, he is most commonly remembered for his tragic death. Ethan lost his life at the hands of 3 off-duty sheriff deputies while being physically forced to leave his seat in a movie theater for simply wanting to watch the movie a second time. His last words were cries for his mother. Ethan had no previous history of violence. His death was senseless and affordable. After his death, Patti dedicated herself to advocating for justice for Ethan and changing the flawed system that allowed her beloved son to be taken from this world too soon. Patti continues to fight fiercely at the federal and state levels of government to ensure that what happened to Ethan never happens to another member of the Down syndrome or disability community. Patti and her family inspired a powerful grassroots advocacy efforts. A Change.org petition garnered over 370,000 or millions or many signatures from across the country demanding action. This work led Governor O'Malley of Maryland to ensure an executive order establishing the Commission for Effective Community Inclusion of People with Intellectual Disabilities. And last year, Maryland passed a bill creating the Ethan Saylor Alliance for Self-Advocates. Patti shares this award with Erica Wheeler, who stood with her and served as a leader in the grassroots movement created by the Saylor family from the very beginning. It was her advocacy and connections that opened doors and helped make strides in the right direction. In Patti's words, nothing that has been accomplished in Maryland would have been done without Erica's involvement in legislative advocacy. Please join me in welcoming these two amazing women to the stage.
Come up here with me. Well, thank you so much. I am so humbled to be here and to be acknowledged for what I've done just loving my son. It is quite an honor to receive an award. It's more of an honor to be his mother. Every acknowledgement and award that I have received over the last several years has been an opportunity for me to share his story and to call for change. And I don't think I have to tell people in this room about change and forcing change. I think you are the people that make it happen. The changes made in law enforcement training and the Ethan Saylor Alliance for Self-Advocates as Educators would not exist without the tremendous efforts of many other people. I'm not a policy wonk. I don't spend my time in the legislative halls of either state or national, but I was there to tell Ethan's story and to be his mom, and I relied heavily on the people that do that for a living, which is many of you, who got me into the rooms and set up the meetings and talked the technical talk of the legislation. And without our partnership together, none of this would have happened. For I continue to be, now 4 years out, simply a grieving mother who continues to channel my grief into some kind of action. It was very clear when Ethan died that I did not want my other 2 young adult children to live a life of bitterness and anger, and we needed to take up the mantle for those people who were still here, that were still unsafe in their communities. So I do need to thank a few people. I want to thank, of course, the ARC and Leanne. She got involved with us probably within the first year, and the NCCJD was coming into effect at that time. And all the many local chapters of ARCs across the country that took it upon themselves to contact their local law enforcement and start a dialogue and begin training before anything formal occurred or any structure or any systematic changes were happening. So thank you to all of you service providers who said, we're going to do something because someone died and we're going to make this happen. And it's not lost on me. I really appreciate all the things that are happening in local communities. I need to thank the folks of the state and local Down Syndrome associations. I'm on the board of the National Down Syndrome Society, who came to our aid immediately, asking me what they could do to help us. And I have to say, don't ever ask a grieving mother what to do, because we don't know. Just take our hand, hold us, and be with us for the first few months, and then we'll figure out what to do. And then I want to thank the self-advocates. We have a large Maryland contingent here this conference, and many of them showed up and testified and wrote letters and told their stories and cried with me in the hallways. And they showed up, which is what we all have to do, right? We just have to show up and make our story known to people. And then I want to thank my son. As many of you know, our lives are enriched, they're changed. We're better people for the relationships that we have with people with disabilities. And now for the real star of the show, my friend Erica Wheeler, who, like I said, we could not have done anything without her. She was on the original commission and is currently the co-chair of the Ethan Saylor Alliance for Self-Advocates as Educators.
I would like to thank my parents, Tim Shriver and Special Olympics, who have helped me build my confidence as a person. As I stand before you, I want to thank Governor Hogan of Maryland in my home state, who has supported the Ethan Saylor Alliance Committee, and so that we can train self-advocates to be the leaders in all the trainings, so we can tell law enforcement how to keep us safe and how to communicate with us in a better way. I want to thank Patti Saylor, who put my faith and trust in me, and for also being a great mentor and friend. But I want to thank her son, Ethan, for his memory to impact us today and tomorrow. I would like to thank my fellow board members of the ARC in Carroll County in my hometown, who had just voted me in as secretary on their local board of directors. And I promise I won't let any of them down, or anybody, or any of the clients who come to the Arc of Carroll County. I want to thank especially my fellow members of the ID community. We can change the world. Don't let anybody put you down. We are the voice. I would also like to read a little poem called Yet. There are so many things you want to know, so many ways to grow. There are so many things you want to be, so many milestones you want to see. You will get there, and you will never forget the superpower of the word yet. Somehow you know that you will keep trying. Your chances and successes will keep multiplying. The same is true with every risk that you take. You just have to learn from your mistakes. Where you put the effort and the goal, you will meet, as long as you remember the superpower word of yet. Thank you.